Hey everyone, not a live video today, a pre-recorded video. I kind of wanted to talk about the topic of business vision a little bit more because it came up the other day in the group, and I also wrote the article to sort of share my ideas and strategies on this topic, and I thought it would be easier to do that in a video that's kind of pre-recorded, because sometimes with the live videos you can get a little bit distracted. So and I'm sharing a couple of things that are personal to me and personal to what I think. So yeah, I just felt, I don't know, more comfortable to do that on a pre-recorded video. For those of you that don't know me and that have come across this video on YouTube, because I do upload everything to YouTube once I've recorded it, or that have come across my blog and don't know that much about me, I'm Jess, and I built up my own virtual assistant business, and I recently started offering coaching and mentoring to other virtual assistants that are looking to either start or grow their own business. And my focus with that is really on your life and your lifestyle as a whole, and what having your own business lets you achieve in life. I feel like I'm very passionate about this, so I am not the go-to person for those that want to get rich quick or make a little bit of extra cash on the side. That's not what I focus on. I really focus on those people that have a strong desire to make something happen in their lives, and help them through that process. And that's why one of the topics that I think is really key is your vision for your life, and that also has an impact on your business and what you want your business to be like. So it's really closely interrelated, and I've just published an article about that. If you are on YouTube watching this, I'm going to link it up at the bottom. If you are on my site, then you're probably already on the blog post anyways. So I encouraged you in the article to spend time thinking about your vision for your life before you get totally stuck into designing the nitty-gritty details of your business, and before you even get working with your first lot of clients. I know a lot of people encourage you to do a certain amount of work before you take on clients, and a lot of times when we get started and we're excited, we forget about this basic work. So we basically do everything else apart from thinking about our pricing properly, or thinking about why we're doing this, or whatever. We're just too excited and we want to see results. We want to see that extra money come in and, you know, get paid for our efforts. And loads of people will tell you that, you know, money-making activities, you know, they're so important. And I'm one of them. I will always tell you that if it's not a money-making activity, then you're probably wasting your time doing it. But that's not right at the beginning. Right at the beginning, I think there's a few things that are going to be crucial for you to get right. And most of those things are things to do internally with you. So they're things to do with your mindset, how you feel about things, how you see things, what your opinion is. And there are things like, for example, your vision and what you want to achieve in your life and why that is important to you. So in this video, I'm going to go into more detail, and this is relevant for everybody. So a lot of the things that I talk about and that I try and teach are things that are important for every person that runs a business. I just tend to specialize in virtual assistants because that's the people that I help. But if you have another business, then this video can be just as helpful to you, because the same principles and ideas that I talk about, they apply to you as well. So yeah, even if you're not a virtual assistant or you don't want to be one, you can still get as much value out of this video as anyone else. So why is a vision so important, and why do I think this is something you should spend some time thinking about at the beginning? Right. Your vision is going to be a key decision factor in a lot of things concerning your business. So when it comes to your pricing and packages, actually the first work that I think you need to be doing is looking at the life that you want to have, because that's how you can then decide what you are needing to charge, or what kind of services you can and can't offer to make that life a reality. So your business vision and your vision for your entire life is a foundational thing to be very aware of, for loads of different reasons. Why do it at the beginning? Why take the time and waste 2 weeks or 3 weeks to become clear on where it is that you're heading? Well, you're going to need a clear vision sooner or later anyways. So this isn't something that if you don't do it and get started and make it work, you are not going to need at some point. So it makes sense to me to, as a foundational piece, get that right from day one, rather than waiting until you get frustrated. So as your business grows, you may have put some things in place or acted a certain way that is now causing you problems, and I don't know, it can leave you feeling really negative, and you can start resenting the way your business is and the way your business works. But what you have to understand is that you made it that way. And why did you make it that way? Well, probably because you weren't clear on how you want your life to be and how therefore your business needs to be to support that life. So you built a business, but you didn't build a business that would support the lifestyle that you want. So you now have to come back to basics. You have to take that time out, and you will end up taking 2 or 3 weeks to kind of become clear in your mind on how you do want your life to be and how you do want every day to happen. So it makes sense to save yourself that headache, to have to do it part way through having established your business, and actually invest that time at the beginning. Your vision, you will come back to it regularly and it will change, and as you achieve things, there's new things that come up that didn't come up for you before, or maybe there's a sudden change of circumstance in your life, like maybe suddenly you're expecting a baby and you weren't expecting a baby 6 months ago, and that's now changed how your outlook on life is. There will be minor adjustments that you need to make along the way, but your basic vision for your life, it's not going to be so significantly different that you're going to have to do a complete reset and start again from square one, really. So yeah, I encourage you to take those 2-3 weeks and to just think and imagine and feel and dream. Now, I want to go into more detail of what I mean by vision. Well, most people that know me, they kind of know that I'm not a very woo person, so I'm kind of very much matter of fact. So if there's a bunch of facts to look at, I will look at the facts and I will make a decision, and that's it. So this whole thing of having a vision is a little bit abstract almost for me, but it's nevertheless actually been really, really, really important, and I'm going to tell you in a moment why that is. So I want you to understand what a vision is not. So your vision for your life and your business does not equal your goals. So if your goal is to have, I don't know, $10,000 in savings by the time you're 25, that is not your vision for your life at 25 years old. If you are, wanting to have achieved, I don't know, certain things, like certain amount of items of your bucket list by the time you're 35, that is not your vision, that's a fixed goal. So if you remember back to the days where you were still in school and your teachers were telling you that the goals that you're setting should be SMART goals, you make them specific, you make them measurable. That's exactly what a goal is, and goals often have numbers in them. So, you could say that a football team wants to get the first place in whatever league they're playing, that's a goal. A vision is different to a goal. A vision is more focused on how you feel. They are exactly the things that your teachers do not want you to write down when you are setting goals. They're wishy-washy. You can't actually always say whether or not something has been achieved or that aspect of your vision has been achieved. The only time you will actually be able to tell whether you're on the right track is because you feel like you are on the right track. So goals can be achieved and they can be overachieved, but it doesn't actually mean that the person that is achieving the goals is happy. So if you look at the people in your life that you know, that you think are doing really, really, really well, and you know them very well, and you have a heart-to-heart conversation with them about their life and their achievements so far and their level of happiness, you will find that not always are the people that have made it and that have achieved their goals and smashed their goals and done even better than they thought they would, that they're actually feeling happy and content. So it could be that they've been working towards things that they thought would make them happy, that they thought would fulfill that vision of how they imagined their life to be, but it hasn't. So there's plenty of people that win the lottery, but they don't know, they didn't have a plan for their life vision, they're not really sure what is going on, and a lot of times they're actually quite unhappy because they've just inherited this pile of money and there's now more of a burden than it is actually it's actually helped them. So I think that's a lot of the times where the saying comes from, that money doesn't buy happiness. So, you know, you can be a really successful man in a successful career and at the end you commit suicide because you're the most unhappy person on earth. It's because you achieved those goals that you set yourself, or you did well by other people's standards, but you never actually achieved what your mission in life was. So, yeah. I was watching a webinar not long ago. I think it was Shah Wasmond. I think so. And she talked about her career and how she achieved all these things in her career, but what was really important to her was being able to spend time in a way that she wanted to spend her time and see her family and all of that. And she ended up leaving her career in which she wasn't actually very happy. She achieved loads, she'd set all those goals and she'd overachieved them, but she wasn't happy with her lifestyle as a result, and with the stress and the amount of work that she had to do. And she quit and she started her own business, and now she has the chance to create a life in the way that she wants to live it. And that to me is a prime example of why your vision is so important, because if you don't know what you're actually meaning to do, you will always have this feeling somewhere that it's not good enough. I have to do more, I have to go further. But maybe you don't need more, maybe you need different. And yeah, that's the thing where I think your vision just becomes so important. Now, I'll share a little bit maybe about my vision to give you an example of how it's different, how it's not clear. So your vision is all to do with feelings. So it's not to do with facts and details. It's about the way things make you feel a lot of the time. So if I think about my vision for my life, it's that I have this connection to nature. I don't know why. I only realized that probably over the past few years, like maybe 3 or 4 years, because I was constantly unhappy of where we lived. And I'm like, I don't know, the flat's okay, but you know, it's not amazing and something's missing. And then every time we went abroad on holiday to visit family, I realized what it was. All of them have living spaces that connect to nature. So you can sit in your living room, have the doors open, and you can hear the birds and you can smell the fresh air and you can see what's going on outside. And there just was a connection. And every place we'd lived in, our back door, I don't know, houses in the UK have a really weird layout. You know, a lot of them are very narrow, very long. The back door would be through a laundry room at the back, and it would be almost an inconvenience to have to go out to the garden. And I don't know why, it was leaving me really frustrated. And it's the same now. So our back door is at the end of the kitchen, so from the living room, the dining room, you can't see outside. I only see houses, roads, cars and dirt on the front, and I can't see the garden, I can't see the trees. And I think that's one of the things that's leaving me feeling really frustrated. So I actually have to make an effort to go outside. And like sometimes at weekends, I just say, oh, can we go to the forest? Like, I just want to be outside. Thinking back in time, I then discovered that this has been a pattern that's been going on for a long time. So when I was a teenager, we would be sitting in the beer garden to drink. We wouldn't be sitting inside the restaurant, or we would all meet in the park and bring a bottle. Not like I encourage you to do that if you are a teenager listening, you know, whatever, but that's what we were doing. So we were outside. We would have barbecues at people's houses. You know, we would just be outside. During primary school, we used to finish school at 1 o'clock, come home, do homework, and then 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we would play outside. You know, we would usually be with our parents, and we had a little, I don't want to call it a forest, we had a little hill with some trees on the top next to our house, and that's where we always used to meet up every afternoon. All the children used to play outside. We'd come home at 6, have dinner, and then if you're old enough to go out again, we were allowed out from 7 until nightfall, and then we would come home and go to bed. Basically, looking back at that, oh yeah, and I used to be in the fire brigade, and we used to go camping every summer. So the best year was when we stayed right by a lake. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, and then in kindergarten, a lot of us played outside all day, you know. So looking back at my kind of life growing up, I realized I have always spent a lot of time outside. I wasn't doing very well in secondary school because I used to spend a lot of time staring out the window at the trees instead of listening to the teacher. So this is something that's been around for a long time. So if I think about my ideal day, and that's one of the exercises you can do. I mean, to work out what exactly your vision is for your life, there are 1 million different ways of doing it. And if you just ask Google, Google will deliver. You need to pick the exercises that work for you. So in my blog post, I gave a couple of examples, but those things are kind of quite basic, but they're about as much woo as I can handle. So to me, imagining my ideal day and wondering why it is my ideal day is quite actually a realistic thing to do. I'm not one for meditating or, you know, stuff like that. So that's not going to work for me, and I'm not even going to bother doing it. I tried, and it just doesn't work. So I kind of focused on the ideal day. I looked at what would my ideal day in X number of years, like 5 years, be like. And I focused on all the things that are feelings. They're not tangible things. So it's not about stuff. It's about how is it making me feel and why. So as an example, I imagine waking up somewhere really comfortable. So I like to be comfortable. I like comfortable beds, and I like fluffy bed sheets and stuff like that. Then what's really important to me after that is who I'm with. So it's important to me that the people that I surround myself with are people that I really like. That's one thing that's always been important to me. I have never stuck with friendships that are one way. So if I feel like I always give and I don't get many things in return, and it's becoming really strenuous on myself, and I feel like it's a burden to maintain that friendship, I think it's not meant to be. So I've only ever kept in touch with very few people because I felt a genuine connection with them. So I know lots of people and I connect with them really well, and I do get a lot out of those interactions, but my close relationships, I have very few, and they're something that's really special to me. So I looked at, if I open my eyes, what do I see? How do I feel? And the first thing that comes to my mind is sunshine. I see the sunshine coming in through the windows. I can hear the birds outside. I can smell fresh air because I'm somewhere where I can have the window open. So I then think about warmth, and then I think about what do I do after that, you know. So if I'm going to get out of bed, where am I going to go to? I like to have coffee in the mornings, and I like to sit outside. So I'm imagining like a nice outside space with plants and a nice table, and how is that making me feel? Oh, it's making me feel relaxed because I feel like I have time and I have freedom. And then I think about who I'm with and why is that important to me. So that's kind of how the ideal day exercise worked for me, and I worked out quite a lot of things about how I would want things to be. How does that now affect your business? So you're thinking, oh, this is all nice and good, and I'm dreaming about how my life is going to be, and right now it's nothing like it. Why does this matter? To me, there's two reasons why this matters. The first one is that there are going to be times in your business where you are feeling deflated, frustrated, impatient, and annoyed. And there's going to be times where things aren't going well at all, and all you want to do is throw the towel in, right? You want to say, screw this, I've had enough, I've been at it for 6 months, I quit my job, I did everything that I think I should have done, yet I'm not seeing my life become any better than it was before. I don't have any more money, I have less time than ever, and I just feel like this is all a big waste of time. Those are the times where I encourage you, so if you're working with me, I will actually encourage you to do that. I will encourage you to go back to your business vision and your vision for your life. And I encourage you to look at where you started. So what position were you in when you started your business? I encourage you to then look at where you are at now and see that progress that you've made in this period of time. I also encourage you to really feel that vision and the why. So it's really important when you're running a business that you have a really, really strong why. Why are you wanting to do this? Because this is what you're going to keep coming back to remind yourself not to give up. So that's the first reason why I think having that strong why and knowing what you want your life to be like is good. The second reason why I think you need this strong vision is because there is going to be 1 billion decisions to make over the period of time that you're running your business. And you want to make sure that you are making decisions that are in line with that vision. So you want to be acting from a place where you know where you're wanting to get to, and you're trusting on the fact that the decisions you're making are going to be the right ones to lead you towards that ideal life that you're aspiring to. So that's going to have an influence, a practical influence on certain decisions you make about how you run your business. So I'll give you an example. If you are desiring a lifestyle where you can plan every hour of every day the way you want it to be without any fixed time commitments, do not start a business whose business model is based on selling your time. So if you're wanting to be a virtual assistant that has this freedom to travel and to be in different places, then do not take on clients that expect you to have fixed working hours. Do not expect to take on clients that have 3 meetings with you every week, a fixed day at a fixed time, meaning that you cannot leave the house on those days, you know. You need to bear these things in mind. So that's one thing. The other thing is your packaging and your pricing. So in the beginning, you may have to make sacrifices there, but as you get experience and as you grow, you have to make sure that your packaging and your prices reflect what you want to be delivering. So if in your ideal life you have a certain responsibility in the client's business, for example, and you have a certain amount of decision-making scope, and you're accepting the challenges of helping them to be more successful, then you have to make sure that what you're selling is a product that allows you to do that, or a service that allows you to do that. If you're just selling your time for money, then you're going to be treated like somebody that is just there on call, and you're not really making a difference. So also, if you have a specific lifestyle in mind that you're wanting to live, you have to think about whether your pricing actually allows you to ever achieve that lifestyle. So if you're selling yourself for cheap, but you're wanting a luxury lifestyle, it's not going to happen. So there are lots of simple exercises that I encourage my clients to do to work out whether what they're charging is actually ever going to be able to sustain a business that encourages or that allows them to live their life in the way that they want to live it. That's really important, because if your pricing is so off that you would have to work 70 hours a week, you're never going to get to that freedom lifestyle, right? It's just not possible. So it's not your fault. It's just, it's set up, the system that you've set up is set up in a way that doesn't work. So there are key points where you make really important decisions about how you run your business, and they are actually very much influenced by the vision that you have and by how you imagine your life to be. So if you skimp on those aspects, so if you don't spend your time to become clear on that, you will run into situations where you will be really frustrated. And the reason why you're so frustrated is because you basically have set yourself up in a way that doesn't support that vision. And then you have to take a break. So if you're in that position right now when you're listening to this, take a break. You know, just keep things ticking over as it is. Don't advertise your services. Don't accept any new people. You know, just take time either on your own if you can, or with someone like me, to become clear on what that vision is and what aspects of your business have to change to reflect that. And that's really important, because only then can you actually move forward with clarity. Otherwise, you're just going to keep taking actions and they're going to be very random, and you're going to get to a place of desperation. And I spoke about that in my other article about working for free. If you're operating from a place of desperation, you're in the worst place ever, because you're not going to see any of the results that you need. The clients that are going to come to you are totally the wrong kind of clients, and it will leave you even more frustrated. So it will just play into the things that are already not going well. So I recommend distance, mind space, maybe a holiday, just clearing your plate a little bit so that you have time to think and to imagine what you want things to be like. All right, I think I've written some notes before, so I think that's everything I wanted to say about your vision for your life, and therefore, you know, how it impacts your vision for your business. If you fancy talking about this a little bit more, then I have a free Facebook group which I'm going to link under the video, and if you're on my blog then there's links everywhere, but it will be in the article as well, so we can talk about your vision. I'd love to know what your vision is. So if you're not in the group yet, come and join us and tell us about your why are you doing this. Then if you're in a situation where you feel like you're having a bit of a block, even if it's just something that, you know, you feel like it's a small block but you kind of can't seem to work past it, then get in touch. I'm going to link up my mentoring page at the bottom, because I may be able to help you out with a quick 1-hour strategy session where we look at where those challenges are and what we can do to kind of get you over it. And then if you're fancying working with someone a little bit longer term, I have a 6-week mastermind group running on my website. You'll be able to see when the next start date is. And then I also work one-to-one with clients for either 3 or 6 months if you're looking for a little bit of a longer term commitment to overhaul your business or really, you know, give it a kick up the backside. So I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, feel free to share it. And then, like I say, I'd love to connect with you in the group, and I'll see you there. Bye.